This thing I don't think has ever been cleaned. Bird feathers, some dog hair, some cat hair. So that's all gonna have to be replaced. That's a nice bird's nest in it. Doors rotted out, drywall seam is cracking. Holes in the tub. This bathroom's getting completely gutted as well because there's water damage. All right guys, welcome back to Mr. Post Frame. Today I'm going to show you how to install a toilet. And this happens to be on a remodel, however it's got similarities to new construction as I gutted this bathroom down to nothing because the subfloor was ripped out. For those of you who followed along, you know how this went. But for those of you who are new, my name is Paul. I got my start in YouTube when I self-built my own Barndominium. I did 95+% of the build myself. I've custom built a ton of Barndominiums, and I also design Barndominiums all over the country. So if you guys are wanting to find a piece of land, wanting to build a home, this is the channel for you. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell for notifications. It helps me out, and it definitely is gonna help you out by not missing any videos. But let's go ahead and jump in to installing this toilet. I had to gut this bathroom down to the studs as the subfloor was rotted. So everything is new. There's a new PEX line coming out that's plugged off. This is going over LVP. And so this is going to be similar to new construction, how you would find it. The flange is capped off. In this install, we have our toilet. We have the bowl with all of the good stuff inside, the float, bowl lid. We have all of the hardware. Most toilets will come with a wax ring and all the hardware. I do not use wax rings anymore. Quite a while ago, a few years ago, I started using these waxless rings. And I like them because if you ever have to take the toilet off, you don't have to clean up the wax or anything like that. Another great thing about them, it doesn't matter if your flange sits above the floor, even with the floor, or below the floor. This has everything you need to seal it. And I personally have never had one of these leak. That being said, I've never had a wax ring leak after installation. So whether you choose wax or you choose a waxless, it basically comes down to installation, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and get started. I have shut the water off. Got to cut the plugs off the end of the PEX. Have to install a 1/4 inch ball valve so that we can have water supply to our toilet. So I personally like the push fittings. This one is a shark bite. I use push fittings where I have access to them. I've had great luck with them. With that being said, you're more than welcome to crimp one on or use a compression one. Really doesn't matter. I just like to use these. All right, so this is a toilet flange that has a cap built into it. This is typically used in new construction or like in remodels like this, so that gases can't escape back into the house while you finish construction. But you'll see there's little hammer signs on here. And so that's where you hit. You just give those a good pop. All right, so here is the seal that I'm using. So inside you'll have this little guy, and then you'll have a couple different rings here. The thick foam ring, the thin foam ring, and the red rubber seal. And you open it up, and then it talks about the flange height, and depending on what the flange height is, whether it's flush with the floor, below the floor, or above the floor, that will determine which combination of seals you use. So with my situation, I am above the finished floor, but it's less than a 1/2 inch. So all I have to use is the thick foam piece with the rubber seal. And so it's pretty standard across that you'll have these little plastic washers. and you can slide those on there. And what that does is once you slide this into the groove of the toilet flange, you can slide it down and it'll kind of hold that in place. So you want those across from each other. And the seal will go down like this, red part down. Put it over those. All right, so if you look at the toilet we have, this is an American standard. Emily likes the ones that are all flat on the side because they're easier to clean. They don't have all of the, you can't see the trap and all that, that's all inside. It is a little bit more difficult tightening your bolts down, but not too bad. And then they have these little caps that snap in here once you have your toilet secured. This one's also a little bit more difficult to see those holes as well. All right, so you can see, if you look at this toilet, it kind of rocks. But once we tighten our washer and our nuts down, it will suck that toilet down around that seal, and then you know it's not gonna leak. If it wasn't rocking, I would be a little bit nervous that my seal was not big enough. So they have a couple different ways you can fasten it. They have the washers and the nuts, or they have these. Typically on a toilet where the bolts are exposed, you can use these and then they'll have a little cap that goes over them. I am definitely gonna use these because getting in there to tighten those down is going to be really, really difficult. As long as you get them nice and snug, this toilet shouldn't leak. All right, so before I put my toilet bowl on, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut. So I shut the water off. I'm gonna be using my PEX cutters to cut the PEX. Don't forget your nice little trim piece. Make sure I have a little room to get it off of there if I want. Find out soon enough. So that slides on there like so. And then this little trim piece goes on like that. And then we will have our hose. Which I'll have to tighten that down. We'll go right to the bottom of the toilet. So the next part to go on is going to be this tank. I want to take this seal, put it over there like so. The bolts are already threaded down through. Set this down where the bolts go through the hole. And you're not going to be able to see this part either. Those bolts go through the back, and then these just go on there. And toilets always come with a tool, so it makes it really easy to tighten it down. Right, now that I got those started, I'm going to make sure that this is on there square, and I'm going to take this wrench and tighten it down. There's a flathead inside if you need to hold it if the top is spinning. All right, so the bolts that I just tightened was those two right there. I don't know if I can get you underneath here where you can see or not, but the bottoms are right underneath there. Now this end, you don't need any tools, that's just finger tight, and it will get attached right there. All right, so for the most part, the toilet is installed. I have this secured down with the seal. I have the tank secured and sealed to the toilet, and then I have my water line hooked up and connected to my toilet. I'm gonna have to take this off, but that just sits on there. And then the rest of this is gonna be kind of dependent upon the type of toilet you buy and the seat type that you get. This one has a really unique setup, which I like, and I'll show you. So we have these little posts that we will attach to the toilet, and then the toilet seat quickly clips on and off. So for cleaning, you can easily get the toilet seat off, which is nice, I think. These just get pushed down in there, which I'm not sure how hard this is going to be to get in there. So not hard at all. Loosen this bolt so you can push that down in there. If you look in the bottom, there's 2 holes. Those posts go in that hole, and then to release the toilet, all you have to do is push these buttons at the same time and it releases it. Alright, so I need to, that toilet, if you can see, the toilet lid needs to come out about further, so I have to switch those things around. So that's about where it needs to be, right there. Backen these down some more. For now, I can put our trim pieces on since it is spaced right. Just pull that off. And there you have it. All right guys, so that is the toilet installation up to this point. I'm gonna get the other toilets installed. I'm gonna get all of the quarter turn ball valves installed and all the sinks. And then I will turn the water on, make sure nothing is leaking, everything's good. And then once we get that done, we will seal around the bottom of the toilet. I go back and forth with this. On a floor, like on a wood floor, I don't think it's a bad idea. It keeps your toilet a little bit more sanitary, and it's code. In the plumbing code, it does state that you should seal your toilet around the base of your toilet. Some people will say seal around the front and the sides, leave the back open so you know if there's a leak. But from my experience, if there is a leak in a toilet, it's at the seal where the flange comes to the floor, and the water is going to leak in the subfloor, and you're going to notice it. If it's on the main floor, you're going to notice it in the basement. If it's on a second story, you will notice it once it starts leaking through the drywall in the room below. I'm going to cut slight angle on the end of my caulk gun. Pretty small hole right there. You can use silicone or you can use latex. I prefer latex caulk because it's easy water cleanup. So I can take a wet paper towel and I can wipe up and I get a nice clean line around the edge of the toilet. Now, just gonna lay a bead, made sure that my toilet is square to the wall. This isn't too bad. I got a little more on there than I wanted to. This flooring, LVP, actually has like, almost like wood grain in it, and it's getting in there, which is making this a little bit more difficult, but it's cleaning up nice. That's why, this is 100% why I choose latex. All right, so you can see we're sealed down along here. The last step is to adjust the float in here. So we turned the water on, and I have this quarter turn ball valve off, and there's been no leaking. It's been on for like 5 minutes. Nothing back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slowly turn this on. This is the float right here. So when the water fills up, it lifts up, shuts the water off. And then you can adjust this up or down, and you want the water to be just below this overflow. What happens if this water comes up too high, it just overflows and then can go down so you don't have any flooding. And then that, of course, is your flapper, which typically those usually come pretty well adjusted. So we'll just let this fill up and see if it's adjusted right or if we got to do some adjustments. Typically, I usually have to do something. I can already tell that's gonna need to go down. All right, so the water is hitting the float. And honestly, that's about perfect. You can see it's a quarter, 3/8 down. You could adjust it up a little bit. So in this particular case, clockwise raises the water level, counterclockwise will lower it. So now that we got this filled, you see the bowl has water in it. You can flush it and let all the water out. And then we'll see if it goes back to the same spot one more time. So once you get this adjusted, a couple other things you can adjust is one, the handle. There's a chain there, so if this chain isn't taut enough, it won't lift that flapper up high enough to stay open while the water drains. If you flush the toilet and then it quickly stops flushing, it's probably because this chain isn't adjusted properly. And then one other thing, if you have a runny toilet, it's most likely going to be that this mechanism stops working. You can replace just this part. It's pretty easy to do. But a lot of times, if you have really hard water or poor water quality, these can wear out faster than normal. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap on today's video. Hopefully you found this useful and you can get to installing or adjusting your own toilets. But as always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and don't stop dreaming.